right. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Suzanne Covey. For some reason, I don't have my second name on my screen, but whatever. I am a SAG actress. I've been in the industry for 30 years. And Kenny and I know each other because we did a show together. He did the music on a show that I did that is currently on Tubi, Apple TV. It's on a few different places. And that's how he and I had met. And so he had reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got this really cool idea. I wanted to, I wanted to kind of talk to you about, and if you could, oh, if everybody could just, if you've got background noise, if you could just mute, that would be great. Because there's gonna be a lot of different conversations going on. So anyways, just to give you that little bit of that background and how Kenny and I had met. So he reached out to me and said, I am looking to do this thing, didn't know if you'd be interested in being involved in any aspect of it whatsoever. And of course, anytime anybody says something to an actor about being involved in a project, the first thing you are is like when, where, how, and all that good stuff. So once I got onto the project and we started to discuss things further, I had said, and I got a chance to meet Mary, which well, I'll go ahead and introduce her here in a minute as well. And I thought, well, how can I be in the best capacity for you? And so I'm going to be taking on the role of the production consultant. So I'll be working alongside every aspect within the film to give my experience from the 30 years and any assistance that I can possibly give in all areas. Now, there are a lot of people that will be on set that are very seasoned in their expertise, but I will be here really as the support system for Kenny and Mary. And then, of course, anybody else in production, whether you're an actress or an actor, or if you're crew, craft, makeup, whatever your role is, they are all equally important. And I will be here for you to answer any questions that you may have, any challenges that you might have, any concerns that you might have, and any insight you might like that might help you in your role on set. So that's my background briefly, but I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mary, and she is going to be Kenny's right-hand woman. And she's taken the reins on this project. She is absolutely phenomenal, knows a lot. So I'm excited to be able to be here to work with her as well. So Mary, why don't you go ahead and take over? And
I
I'll
will do that. I will do that. And thank you so much for your kind words. That means a lot, especially from someone that's been in the industry as many years as you have. My name is Mary Burkali Simmons. I am here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I want to, for everyone that I've talked to about this amazing project, I want to say thank you, first of all, because my schedule's been wonky having the newborn, but she's happy and healthy, and I'm excited to get this started. Pre-production is today, starting today. So just keep communication. We've got the social media going on. I'm personally really excited about this project. I have been a content creator for years, done dance, theater, pretty much anything performing arts. But I was a little bit afraid to use my voice as much as I love doing it. After a lot of years of not singing, I sung and then I stopped. And I contacted Kenny a couple years ago. I think it was like last year or the year before that. And I'm like, hey, I just saw that you doing music. Could I maybe work with you someday when I'm ready? And he was really awesome about it. And then I recently, saw that he was looking to do film. I'm like, oh hey bro, I've been doing it. Let's get together. Let's do this, because the reason I love this film, and I'll leave it for Kenny to take over. It really, for me, when I read the script and I'm looking at the vision of this, he has absolutely nailed the revival of like the 80s spirit B-rated horror with like a modern twist that really puts you in like today's day and age, to where honestly this could be getting like freak people out at just the thought of this kind of situation happening. And it's an electrifying adventure. It's got survival hinges, a bunch of it's classic zombie movie, but it's got some really awesome twists, and just the personality behind it. I love it. I love indie films, but this is special to my heart. So Kenny, thank you for giving me the executive producer job. But we are both just working together to make this happen. We've got a lot of experience, kind of two opposite sides of the coin. And Suzanne, thank you profoundly for with your expertise and your experience in this. And I can't wait to see everybody's talents come together and make this project absolutely phenomenal. So Kenny, I'm gonna go ahead and let you roll if you're ready, brother.
I am ready. So hi everybody. My name is Kenny Stout. I go by KS, and this project has completely gone from such a small thing to such an amazing amount of talented crew and cast, with such a vast experience in what you do. Like it has actually grown more than I thought it would. I'll give you guys a little bit of a background of who I am, what I do real quick, and then we'll talk about the movie a little bit, as well as some future things that I would like to get into. I'm a recording artist and a producer. I'm with MTP Records, and we distribute through Universal Music Group and Intercept Music and Ingrooves. Um, I moved to South Carolina in 2017 and partnered up with one of my best and closest friends, and we opened up a studio. And we were like, you know what? You had a studio, I had a studio. Let's combine them and see what we can make happen. And during COVID, I had an EP that went out and hit the iTunes charts. We kind of took off, and we wound up getting in touch with a radio DJ that loved the music and was like, "Hey, you guys have a lot of potential. Like, I would love to link with you guys." We linked up, and things kind of moved along. And at the end of COVID, we started kind of touring a little bit and doing the areas that we could with just the amount of following that we needed to. Went out, did some bars, did some youth athletic events and things like that. And it wound up turning into us getting distribution, which led to us now having an distribution through a major distributor, as well as one of our partners and somebody who will be releasing the film on distribution, which is the RHE network. They are on Roku, Apple, Android TV, Amazon Fire devices, and they have lots of other things as distribution for music and radio. And last year, we moved our studio back from there, and I was like, you know what? Let me try getting into some film. And so I started filming a little bit, trying to just, get some extra work in from music and things like that. And people were like, you know what? You have a lot of talent for this. So I was like, you know what? Let me make a little short film. I made a short film and asked, a few people what they thought. They loved it. And they were like, why don't you make a movie? So I started writing a little bit of a script, and I was like, hey, who would audition for this? And then that's kind of how this happened. I reached out to a whole bunch of the Facebook pages on, Virginia through Florida, actors and filmmakers. And I was like, hey guys, like, I'm gonna make a movie. Who would want to audition and or who would want to work on crew? And that's kind of how this started. And not knowing that I was supposed to have all this stuff done first, it kind of started taking off, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? So I reached out to like Suzanne, who I knew for my film that I was in. I reached out to Mary. I reached out to Alexa, Schwartz, who's in the chat, and it's kind of just taken off, which is a really good thing. Now, besides for having distribution on the label side for music, our label management and PR is Kevin DeClue. He helped break like Hillary Duff. He's been tour manager for like Scotty McCreery, Janet Gentry. He's done stuff for like Gretchen Wilson. He's got the ability to reach anybody in any industry. He's very close friends with Cinda Snow. If you guys know Brittany Snow from Pitch Perfect. So if we can wind up making this thing turn into, as big as we can get it, I have the ability to get anybody, work with anybody that we choose and who we want to get. Um, so I kind of wrote this film and the screenplay, and the people that I have reached out to first, they've been very interested and they kind of love what I've been doing. It's the first time I've ever written a script. So for me, I'm kind of like, I can't believe it turned out so good, which I'm excited about. Because I have a little camera and I have some lights, and I'm more of a music guy, as you guys can see from the studio. So I just can't believe, everybody who's turned out for this thing, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. For the movie itself, it is a zombie movie. Um, I'm such a 90s guy and 80s guy since I, was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s that I want it to be not so like cheesy, and I want it to have like real acting and have the feel of like, when you were a kid, and like the Jason movies came out or Friday, like the Freddy Krueger, and it's like I would love to have a little bit of VFX and things like that to keep it new school, but I want the real feel of like when you're acting in the movie to like feel it. I'm a music guy, so like I want to feel the acting, and I really want to get in touch with just the scenery and the zombies and I want the whole everything that you just when you look at a horror movie and you're like, wow, that's what I want it to be. I'm hoping that this turns out to be that. Um, I have reached out to some theaters in South Carolina for doing a red carpet premiere. I would love to do that as I have tons of friends and people who work at some of the radio stations here, like WNOK. They are the Columbia Hit Music Station. One of my friends does work at the country station here, as well as connections with the hip hop station. So when we do release it, I would love to get like a radio promo for it as well. I'm very good at marketing. For those of you that know me, I have probably about 70,000 followers on all my platforms. And some of the clients that I work with have, platforms from 10,000 to 150,000, as well as connected with people that have the ability to reach anywhere we needed to reach it to, as long as we can build up, the funding and the crowdfunding and things like that. I'll keep it really short now for the movie, and I'll kind of get into the crowdfunding a little bit before we get into some Q's and A's, and if anybody has anything else they would like to add. Um, so with that being said, I do have a location already. I have tons of people in my area that are interested in helping with this. We have a few sponsors as well that are interested. We have a Halloween store, which I don't know if Taya's in here yet. She's coming from work, but she has a meeting in another month with a Halloween store that's interested in sponsoring, which means, getting different things like blood and animatronics and things like that. We do have a bunch of different sponsors and catering people we're starting to talk to, as well as people that really want to help make this happen, and people that um, just are starting out in the industry that want to help with crowdfunding or PA or just kind of get their foot in the door. So I want to make this the best that it can be and help everybody, not only get credits or major credits, but help people that are starting out get to where they need to be, which is why crowdfunding is important. And I know even if you are a producer or cinematographer, whatever you're doing, that marketing not only can help build you guys up and build us up, but I would love to be able to help promote everybody else in what they're doing for this project. I've already made a web page through my agency, IASB agency. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but we do have our website up now. I have a management and talent agency as well as distribution for merchandising. So I would love to get merchandising for this, and just kind of make this as big as possible. I'd like to get shirts and sweatshirts and do different things. And I would love to have everybody who's a part of this be able to help in some sort with that on the marketing and even crowdfunding side, because right now we are non-paid, and we're looking to do uh, um be able to pay everybody what your expectations are, as well as beyond that. Um, so that is the most important thing, is building up the crowdfunding, which I had no idea. I was supposed to start with all this stuff early on. And now we're kind of getting to that, being that I kind of jumped the gun with this. So my fault on that, but I was just kind of hoping to get interest in this. And now that we have a lot of interest from, new cast and new crew, up to such experienced people, that I just I thank you for showing up for everybody that did. And so that's kind of it on my side. Um, I guess if you guys have any questions or things like that, I will for sure try to answer the best I can. I would rather have Suzanne and Mary answer those because I am new to film. So this whole experience is like brand new. I'm a music guy and I know a little bit. So I will let them really answer the questions that you guys have if you have any or any concerns like that.
Well, I think that I took some notes and we had a couple questions in the chat and I know that Mary wrote down a couple questions too. So Mary, how do you think about this? What if we just go ahead and have everybody, if you all know how to use Zoom, and raise your hand on Zoom and have people just raise their hand, and that way we can just open up um, your audio for you to go ahead
That's
and
an
ask the
excellent
question.
idea. Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea. And that way all three of us can just kind of, get together and talk and answer
Okay.
that collectively.
That sounds good because we can just take turns, like who wants to take that answer? Okay, so if anybody does have a question, just go ahead and raise your hand and we'll check the screen. I see that Natalie has something, so go ahead and unmute Natalie. Go ahead.
Hi. This might be a silly question, but I was just wondering, like, how gruesome are we thinking? Like PG-13, rated R, unknown?
That's actually a really good question. Kenny is still working on furthering the script. So Kenny, I think that's probably more of a you question on this.
I mean, I have a lot of people with younger children that are asking to be in it, especially the ones that live in my area. I mean, I would love for it to be really gruesome, where you're like, oh gosh, like, PG-13/rated R. I mean, if we have to like dial it down a little bit, I'm not really too concerned. I just want this to be the best it can be with everybody that's willing to make this project be the best it can be. So for me, it's if we can make it really gruesome and that's kind of the thing it's going to be, for sure. If it's got to be dialed back a little bit, I'm not really too worried. It's my first project, so I'm just very excited. I mean, I do just as long as it's filmed and as the best it can be, and we have the best actors and actresses and the
Yeah.
best crew that we can have. That's all I'm really worried
Yeah.
about. And hopefully, I would love to make maybe a part two of this, with an even
Ooh.
bigger budget. But I am okay with either or.
Kenny,
All
I have
right.
a
Thank you so
question
much.
for you on that to further finish that question. Actually, are you familiar with Stranger Things, Kenny?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least the first season.
Yeah, because I mean, my kids, I've got two kids, and I feel like, a lot of kids nowadays and young teenagers, you're probably not going to watch it. You might, I don't know what what you watch in your house. It could, a lot of people have different, housing experiences, but
Right.
there are some mainstream things like Stranger Things that it can kind of be adapted in that manner because a lot of it is going to be, you know, it's very much in the editing and the approach to how
Mm.
it is told.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know how y'all feel, but I'm all about suspense. I think
yeah,
suspense is so vital in horror films that
Mm-hmm.
you can scare the crap out of yourself without it having to be, to an extreme. So I feel, I think that'll build as Kenny finishes the script because it's really getting into that part now.
Okay.
Which question for you, real quick, and I'll open up back to questions. How far are we now in the script for finalizing this? Because I'm sure a lot of people probably want to know that.
yeah. So it was supposed to be done today. I got like really busy. I'm on page 39. I want it to be between 40 and 42. I know how the ending is going to be, so I could go into a part two. I just between yesterday and today, and then sending out, us and the team, we've been doing a lot the last couple of days just to get this ready. I also have music I'm putting out, some marketing for that, and the agency and my company. So I have a lot of things going on. So it was supposed to be done today, but it'll for sure be done tomorrow. I'm at page like 38, 39, so 2 or 3 more pages, but I do know how it's gonna go.
Okay.
And that's just the first version.
Yes.
Because it's never ever stays the
Fair.
same. Okay, we do have a question that's popped up a lot, so let's answer it as a group. Where is this going to be filmed? Columbia, South Carolina, correct?
Yeah, so the location that I have right now, she's working on the neighbors, which she knows they're interested in. I just want to confirm that. And then once that's done, get, paperwork and all that done. But it's in Blythewood, and Blythewood is like 20 minutes from Columbia. I mean, Columbia in itself in a circle is, a half an hour wide. So it's within half an hour of Columbia.
Okay. All right, great. So let's go ahead and I don't know who's went up first. I'm just gonna go across the top of my screen and work my way across. Lashley Adams, you wanna go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question?
I have several
And then we'll
questions.
do William and Janelle, okay?
Okay, I have several questions. One, the auditions, is it going to be on Zoom or is it going to be actually in South Carolina? The second question is the NDA disclosure form that was sent out, that needs to be filled out before the 17th, right?
Yes. So for the auditions, I want to do them over Zoom. Obviously, because as we're building the crowdfunding and the budget, I would not like anybody to spend any extra money that they have to. We can do everything online to make it easier for everybody. But they will be online, and we will be sending out dates for them. For anybody that asked about filming, we are looking at August the 14th through the 18th, possibly, or maybe the 8th through the 11th. It just really depends on. I would say I'm going to check everybody's school schedules, college, because I know for the actors and things like that, if people are in school, I'd rather not pull them out. That's why I said August, just in case we need to have some younger kids. A lot of the kids down south here start school in August, where up north in like New York and New Jersey, they don't start till after Labor Day. So I was really trying to hit the end of the summer, because when I started the project, I didn't know how big this would be and how much funding and things I needed. So I was like, if I write it now, we can film in August. If it has to get pushed back for any reason, and everybody's okay with that, and we can make it bigger, I'm not opposed to that. Like I said, I want it to be the best it can, and everybody be able to get paid for what they do and make it as big as possible. So I'm not opposed to pushing it back, but the goal for sure is August.
Okay, great. Lashley, was that your final question? Was that your question answered?
Yeah, because he's in school. So
Okay,
I was looking at the time frame as well. And
Okay.
also, it's been filmed in South Carolina. Do we need to get a minor in entertainment certificate for South Carolina? Because we do have one for Georgia.
Can you repeat that question?
He's a minor, so we have the minor certificate for Georgia. Do we need one for South Carolina as well?
So the South Carolina rules are kind of the same. It just depends on how many hours really that he has to work, and depending on um obviously the amount of money and things like that. I will for sure 100% get clarification on that answer. I know that if he's not really working under, if he's working under 12 hours, it shouldn't be an issue, depending on pay rate and things like that. But I will have that for you as soon as we have all the details locked in.
okay, great. And if your questions are answered, if you could put your hand down, that'd be wonderful, so I don't call on you again. William Dasher, can you go ahead and unmute and ask your question?
Well, my answer was question. I mean, my question was already answered, so I don't need.
Oh. All right. All right. Well, wonderful. You can lower your hand then. Good. Thank you so much, William. Janelle, you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Hi. So my question was also answered as far as the audition process. So the next question is, I guess, any tips for when we go to, audition and we do this? You said the audition is going to be on Zoom, correct?
Yes.
So I was just wondering, like, if you
Kenny, are
had,
you going to do self-tape? I'm sorry, you're going to do self-tapes first and Zoom callbacks, or are you going to go straight to Zoom auditions?
Uh,
Or that will that maybe
honestly,
depend on the amount of people that
that
submit?
depends on how many people there are,
Okay.
because I know obviously, um, I know it takes a lot of time. I mean, we've had a lot of people reach out for auditions. Uh, so in the next, month or two, as we're still getting emails and things in, we will let you guys know as soon as possible. So this way, I think after we hit a certain time, which Mary and Suzanne and I will probably discuss right after this, we'll probably close auditions because we do have a lot. And being that, well, until we grow enough crowdfunding, we don't want to just be using resources and time. So we will for sure let you know before Valentine's Day.
Okay.
thank you.
Let's see. I think Lyle, you're next. Do you want to unmute yourself, please?
Okay. Hi, Lyle Dilly. I've been actually in the industry for 20, 25 years. Believe it or not, I'm about to go to Mexico to go film some stuff out in Mexico. I got a superhero film I got to go do. You guys are asking me if I could help. I'd love to help any way that I can. I've done a ton of different marketings and stuff. So if you ever want to pull on me, just give me a call. That being said, my question was about the August thing, because I saw the August, and I've been doing it for a long time. August is probably the worst time to do a movie like this, and the only reason I want to do it, just keep one thing in mind, and then I'll leave that alone. Is that if you're doing a lot of zombie makeup in South Carolina, it will all melt off in the first 10 minutes, unless everything's going to be in the AC in a big warehouse. Everything's going to melt off.
That's actually a very good point.
Yeah, it is hot here. I'm not gonna lie. See, I didn't
Andy,
think
we
about
need to
that.
have
I
a
didn't
talk.
know.
We don't need melted zombies running around here and makeup.
Usually down here, because Savannah is actually a huge, and I'm right here in Savannah, Georgia.
That's all right.
Savannah has a huge thing where we do a lot of zombie movies, and it's the next season of the zombie stuff down here is going to be in a few weeks, because it's always done in the winter.
Yeah. That's why in The
and-
Walking Dead you can see their breath when they're
Yeah.
That's actually a very good. I'm glad that you said that, because honestly, I should have, but I have not even considered that. And as
I
a hair
didn't
and
know.
makeup
I'm from
artist
South
myself, I'm
Carolina.
over here like, you didn't even think of that. Well, we'll just,
you know what? It didn't cross my mind
good.
either. I was looking at logistics and I didn't even think about the zombie
I
makeup
have
in
done
August,
a
but
lot of stuff. I'm actually originally from Arizona. I've done a lot of stuff in Arizona. If you do anything filming in Arizona, it's all indoors. Same out here in the South.
yeah,
It's all
Mexico too,
indoors.
right?
And there's nothing wrong with filming stuff, and shooting off and saying, okay, well, we'll film some stuff, in the summer, and then we'll wait for this or the outdoor stuff. However you want to do it, it is
I was
whatever.
actually just, I think that's kind of where my brain was going when you were talking about that, because I know a lot of times you'll have to have multiple scenes that are just different weather conditions just in general. So when would you, as a professional, recommend doing like inside shots only during that time, maybe, and then
Well,
do
no,
more
the
outdoors
best
later,
the
or
best the best way to consider that kind of stuff is to think about it from the point of view of money, because every day is money. If money is a big issue, obviously you guys do it for free, then you have to spread it out because you got to go over everybody's schedule. But if you're paying for it, then you want to converge it. It does cost more money to spread it out, but then you get more time allotted for it. Long story short, this kind of stuff usually starts after October, November, December. If we're worried about kids, then their scene should be on weekends.
Okay.
that's reasonable.
Which happens a lot in the industry. They go, okay, well, I guess we're working the Saturday. Why? Because Jerry's going to be out there, and we got to have Jerry in a scene, so we're just going to do it on a Saturday. or,
Great
that kind
holiday
of thing.
breaks.
Yeah,
So
no, I think
holiday
that's
breaks, things like that. Yeah.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that and see how we wanna approach that. But thank you for bringing that to our attention because none of us had considered that one aspect. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and a small thing, only because I haven't used it very much. I'm gonna go down to Mexico and use it this weekend, but I've got about $14,000 worth of promo equipment in my closet doing nothing. So if you guys need to come out and do a promo or doing some stuff, photography, you just let me know. I am not that far from where you guys are at. So
Nice.
Uh,
There you go. Teamwork makes the dream work.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
know that wasn't much more of a question. It was just a high concern I just wanted to put out there for you.
No, I think it's wonderful. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
everybody, if you have anybody has anything to add, or it's like, oh, I just thought about this. That's what we're here to do. So,
Absolutely.
and pull talent. This is a talent pull. This is not, a one person, two person show. This is everybody. So Lyle, definitely you're on our list, and we will be in touch.
Absolutely.
All right, Maximus, do you have a question?
I do. So I'm an Atlanta filmmaker. I don't know if this is a question that you guys can answer right now, but I'm not really in a place where I can work for free, especially with like traveling to South Carolina. So I was wondering if you guys have like an expected date to know if you're paying crew or not, depending on like sponsorships and grants.
Kenny,
Okay.
Question for you.
thank you for
Yeah,
taking-
now that we're probably pushing this thing back to the fall, I would for sure say by July, for sure. I mean, I know we're gonna have some sort of budget. I just honestly, I don't know how big it is. We have sponsors that we're working on. We have people that once we can get things situated and hopefully we'll have a few businesses that might want to write some stuff off. As a first time filmmaker, I want to make sure that things are done properly. And not only do I not hurt myself, but I want to make sure that everybody gets paid. So I would say for sure before the 4th of July that we will know everything, and until then it's kind of like a building period.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And that's really why we have such a huge, we're trying to build a social media platform. So share, share, build the hype because the more people that are aware of this, if you want to get paid for doing what you love, well, people got to know about it. Don't be shy about it. Throw it out in the streets, be like, hey, check this out. We're doing this. Any support's appreciated. And you never know. You never know who might. And Kenny's already got a bunch of people already. So it's definitely growing. So yeah, for sure.
It started with me and my little Canon M50 and a couple of little newer lights, and then all of a sudden I reached out to a few people, and a month later, there's all these people in this Zoom. So I know in 6 or 7 months from now, it can for sure be way bigger than it is. So
Mhm. Yes, definitely. A couple of things I just want to bring up for you, Kenny. One is that somebody asked, will you have proof of concept for the fundraiser? And I assume, yes, you will. By the time you get ready to fundraise, your proof of concept will be complete. The
yeah,
presentation.
everything will be done. As I'm learning about film, I'm like halfway. I have a pitch deck. Anything that I've done on social media right now has been, I've done it myself. Whether it's the little intro video and the little flyers and things. I learned how to start photo editing and video editing last year, so I am new to that. So everything you've seen, I've basically done myself, except for the newsletter, which was done by Suzanne. I'm really good at marketing, being that I'm an artist and things and do all that myself. So, all
Oh
that
yeah, you
stuff
made
will,
my job easy. I just got to share your stuff. You're the creator and you're really good at it. So absolutely.
thanks. Yeah, everything will be done. Which is why I brought on Mary and Suzanne to help me get things for sure done correctly. And I brought on a few people like Alexa, who's going to help with casting a little bit. I have a few other people in different areas that I just knew that would help me in different aspects to make this thing possible. But they are for sure going to help me make sure this thing is done correctly. I've spoken to my entertainment lawyer already, so once the script is done, I will have it copyrighted and all that stuff, as well as probably have a production company made specifically for this film and anything else that I need on that side.
Okay, somebody had asked, will we be kept, let me make sure I said proof of concept. Yes, you will be getting emails. We'll keep you in the loop. The very first email blast we sent out was a PDF. That's just, I worked on that quick to
This
get
is
it out.
yours.
I worked on that to get it out. Future
Yes, I
emails.
do.
If
Electric
anybody-
ones will work.
If you could mute your mic.
What's the name?
Somebody's got background. That's okay. I'm just going to mute anybody that might be open. So future emails will be on something that you won't have to open in your computer. It'll be a link right on his website. So you won't have to worry about opening anything or downloading anything into your computer, because we just did that very quick. And you'll have hashtags as well. So when you share on social media, we'll make sure you have all the hashtags. Yes, it's a non-union film unless anything changes. Okay, so I think everybody's names are on the screen backwards. Mine's forward, but Jacoby Robinson or Jacoby Robinson, can you unmute and ask your question, please?
Yep, that's me. I think somebody asked about if this is going to be union or non-union. I think that somebody asked that question already.
Yeah. Okay, question two. I'm going to bring this up. Somebody had mentioned about the script, that they want to see the full script. So usually what happens is when a script is written, when it's done, and a bunch of people were interested in the project, it's up to Kenny to do this, but I want to talk just purely from an actor standpoint. You do not get access to the script, so there's no need for an NDA. Usually you'll just get your sides that you will use for your audition purposes. When you are actually booked, then you'll get an NDA, which will release the full script to you. I don't know if Kenny is going to release the script to anybody and everybody. I don't think it's necessary. I just think those who are, legit want to be on the project, of course, those may want to go, let me take a look at the script first. Let me see if I want to be a part of it. So it's going to be up to Kenny to decide how many of those he's going to give out. But as far as the actor's concerned, you will not get a full script. That's just rule of thumb for me in 30 years. That's never got a full script until I was on set. But so don't expect that. Maybe just get your sides, and then when you get booked. But Kenny will make the decision on that. Kenny, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I'm kind of following, your expertise as well as Mary's. You guys have done this longer than I have. So I mean, at the end of the day, if you're for sure going to be a part of this project, and once Mary and Suzanne, we kind of go over it. If you're for sure going to be a part of this project, I'm not opposed to it. Like I said, I would like for everybody to be able to build some sort of credit, whether you're new or experienced. I just want it to be the best it can. Now, obviously, if we start getting some major sponsors and this thing is taking off before July, that would be a different story. But if it's going to be just enough where everybody's okay and they're getting paid and things, then I don't really mind that. But if it starts to go beyond that, then for sure, yeah.
Okay, I just put in the chat that if anybody wants a script, to talk to Mary or talk to Kenny directly. I'm sorry, Mary, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I was actually just going to say, if anyone wanted to know about that, I was going to get with you too. In addition to that, just sometime here in the next week to discuss how we are going to approach that. I know that a lot of indie films, that I have experienced or heard of, a lot of times there's a summary that's given and then like an idea of main characters. And then, once you sign a non-disclosure agreement and you get more involved and it gets bigger, then you get more from there. But that's just my experience. But you go ahead and continue.
Okay. We have more hands. Okay, I know that Lashley, Asia, are you in? Okay, I know she can't get her hand up. She said she's having a hard time getting her. She doesn't know how to do the hand. And then we'll go to Alexa, and then Tara, Sean, and Sarah Bruce. I'm going just by what you have on your screen. So if I mispronounce
I apologize.
Oh, I'm so sorry for interrupting. I do have
a
meeting at 9:45. Is there
Go for it.
Is there any way I might be able to watch this later because you guys are recording it?
Yes, it's going to be sent out to everybody. Did you want to ask a question really quick before you leave?
The only question I really had was permit based, what that's looking like, because I don't know if you guys know anything about the South Carolina permit regulations. Because it looks like this is going to be a pretty full crew, so it's not going to be a run and gun style film. That would be hell, like that would be very interesting. But
That's part of the logistics that
Yeah,
we're going to be
that's being
working on
worked
over
out.
the next few months. Are you in South Carolina? Where
no,
you're?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, are you? Okay. I know that there are different rules for out of state versus in state, but we'll be further looking into that. And that's just part of like, the Discord chat and the social media, just trying to keep in contact with everyone and keeping you up to date.
Yes, thank you.
For sure.
Okay, so real quick, so from what I know and who I've spoken to in South Carolina, for permitting, it really just depends on the city. So like Charleston, Myrtle Beach, certain cities, you for sure need to get, permitting, depending on where you're at. But for Blythewood, I'm just gonna confirm with them, but as long as we speak to the city beforehand and they know before and we've spoken to them, that is not really an issue. It's only more so for like Myrtle Beach, Charleston, all the major cities. Blythe was not really a huge city, but I will be speaking to everybody on that street as well to make sure I get some sort of contract saying that we're allowed to use their property, as well as having police getting a street or two for the police to be able to block off and watch as well.
Okay. I had Asia Lashley, or Lashley, she has her hand up now, and then Alexa and Tara. Okay.
Hi, this is Asa. I'm a male.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I can't go
It's a
by what's on
weird
the
name.
screen. Now I can see you.
I'm totally used to
Okay.
that reaction to my name. No, I was saying, so when I submitted to be a part of this, I submitted as DP, and DP, I've always known a DP to get a script really early. I mean, that's how we work.
Right.
And so that's what I was asking about. I'm not here to act. Just want to point that out as well. So I wouldn't be getting sides, I don't think.
Right. Yeah, that's, if anybody needs a script in your crew, you need script, go to Mary or Kenny directly, and they'll work something out for you when he gets the script complete. Okay.
Yes, we are going to be over the next week or two actually finalizing for sure. Please let us know, do you absolutely for sure want to be on the project? Because we do need to actually make established roles, because we've had so many people to apply to this, and not every department needs 100 people. So please let us know for sure. That way we can make final decisions, such as, who is going to be director of photography and such and whatnot for different roles, and then we can give you what you will need whenever we find out for sure, and that should be probably within the next couple weeks at the most, I would think.
Okay. Yeah. So just real quick, if you want to make a note, if I'm not DP, then I can't be on this project.
Okay.
All right.
I
Thank
will
you.
say that now. Thank you.
All right, Alexa Schwartz.
Hi, it's not really a question, more of just like something to add. I know in the indie world, people love students, I guess, like they're very willing to give to students. So that's just my 2 cents as a student filmaker myself.
Yes.
If
Oh yeah,
sponsor,
come on board.
Yeah.
Come on board, and it's for everybody. There's a place for everyone. We just want to know, what are you able to do? What do you want to do? How much time do you have to give to it? Stuff like that, because we need just as much pennies as we got quarters, honestly. I mean, everybody is worth something, even if it's 5 minutes a day, or if you want to take on a huge, a much larger role like the director of photography. Give us what you're able to, because this is about having fun. There shouldn't be any pressure, but there's a sense of, responsibility that comes with it, but we don't want anybody to be overwhelmed at all. So
oh no, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I guess I should have worded what I was saying better. If you're like needing any equipment, or I don't know, like craft services, people tend to be more willing I guess with students to give like, I guess, discounted rates or whatever. So yeah, that it kind
Yeah,
of
no,
Okay, I understand
yeah.
what you're saying. Like, if we have any college students who are willing to help out with that, it's a lot easier to get, craft services, sponsors, and things. Being that they'll give it to students over just, us old heads over here with the hats on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay, great. So Tara, you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Hey, I just want to say how excited I am about being a part of this. Thank you so much for letting me participate. I do want to kind of rewind a little bit and touch a little bit on the marketing promotion part of it, and about I believe Mary said something about, hey, don't be shy about this. Share, let them know, let people know that you're involved in this. I know there's been some projects that I've been involved with that I don't want to say are secretive, but there's like a marketing, there's like a tier that they're like, hey, we don't want you, because I actually do have like a very strong online presence, like in social media and stuff. So I don't know how candid I need to be, or like what I can share, like if like what you all share, what we share, like as a on the main page, which I saw that there's an Instagram page now. So like if I can like reshare that onto my personal page,
Yeah.
that's cool. Okay. And then also, like, I know there was a flyer that went out about like sponsorships and the tiers of the sponsorships. I do have, which Mary and I pretty much are neighbors, but I do, I've lived in Knoxville pretty much my whole life. I do have a lot of connections to some people who I think would love to see me, Mary and I succeed in this, who have loved us and seen us grown up in arts and stuff around here in theater, mostly for me, theater and dance. And then I have got some very good friends that have small businesses that may not be able to contribute on like a large scale, but there's like a very tight knit group where I grew up in Strawberry Plains. There's small businesses that like maybe together collectively can do sponsorship. So I didn't know if there was like a deliverable that I can like go and talk to them personally, because they do like for me to show up, and they're probably going to ask for my headshot and an autograph, and they're like, finally you're doing a movie, you know what I mean? So,
I hear you. I hear you. I'm running into the exact same thing, because I get people out of the woodwork, and they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like,
yeah.
We will, Kenny, if you can, since you are the one that is navigating the NDA and knows with that, with getting the actual production company, because we're gonna have to go under one specifically for this. In the meantime, do you suggest that it's okay to just generally tell people about it, but have like a flyer, like a something they can give somehow, or
Like
maybe
what's already been shared, that's okay. Like what they're
Yeah.
already out
So,
there. Yeah.
anything that goes on social media can for sure be shared. Trust me,
Mhm.
as an artist, the more people can see it, the more they're gonna wanna, help out or whatnot. So if you are on any kind of platform, you just have to remember, like, if you're on Facebook, like some people don't go on Facebook every day. Some will go on once a week,
Right.
and it's only on a Wednesday. So if you share on a Monday, somebody on Wednesday is not going to see your post unless a lot of people share it or comment and it
Yeah.
comes back through the feed. I know a lot about the algorithm, which is why I've done well. I streamed 500,000 streams last year with my music. And I do well with social media. People don't see it unless enough people are sharing and commenting and coming back and forth. You literally have to have a conversation on a post for people that never have ever heard of you to be able to see it.
I have the
So with the
analytic thing where it's like, it's best for me to share like on Thursday at like 3:42
at certain
p.m. And I'm
times,
like,
yeah,
I
there's
don't know why,
times
but
that
that's
it
when I
goes
do
up and
it.
down.
I see like this group of people go to my page for whatever reason to see what I'm up to. And that's, so that's the time
Hey,
to share it.
Kenny,
Yeah.
Kenny, quick
Yeah.
question, and unless she's got another question, we can move on. But quick suggestion: could you make a digital graphic type thing like you have been making, with the main promo photo, but like the little written out links?
Yeah,
For
I
like
can do that.
social
And then
media,
what
or
I
like
also
maybe
do is like for my music, I'll even make it into a QR code and I'll go to like
Perfect.
Staples,
Yeah.
and I'll like
Yep.
go to the gas station and be like, stick. I don't even care. I've
Nice.
met so many people from putting it on everywhere that I will make a, a nice, like I guess the pitch cover photo kind of thing I did with all the links on it so you guys can share it. And then maybe if you want, you could turn it into a QR code and things like that, to help. But those sponsorship things that I made, the little flyers, I tried to make all sorts of levels. So this way, if anybody wanted to donate at least $50, they were getting a T-shirt out of it rather than $50 and you're getting nothing. Being that we do have a clothing distributor that I can make whatever. I can make beach towels, flip flops, book bags. Like we can make this as big as we want merchandise wise, as long as the film does well and people want to be able to buy those things.
Perfect. Did you have any other questions, Tara?
No, just honestly, like if I can, I mean, if you all are cool, like I know you all are super busy, but I don't mind to take based on what Kenneth Scott's already out there and make kind of, because I deal with some business people who are old school and don't do a lot of stuff on like social media. So if I can, like, if you're okay with me printing like a brochure based on the information, and go and say, hey, because these are like old school, like mom and pop places that don't, you know what I'm saying? So I can go talk to them and be like, hey, so if,
How do you want her to approach that? Because that's a good question.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to make something, just make sure that Mary and Suzanne and myself approve it before it goes out. And then, I will for sure be like, hey, Tara made this, shout out to Tara who's working on the DOTU, like anything that you guys can get as exposure is for sure going to help you as well as it's going to help us. So, the more the better, as long as, we approve it and we're like, hey, that looks good. I'm not opposed to whatever.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it's cool that we say, hey, we're a part of this project. We need. So I didn't know how secretive or like whatever it needed to be. But thank you. You answered my question. So excited. I'm actually going to have to pop out. I'm going to have to go for the night.
More questions, you have emails. If anybody has any more questions and they have to pop off, you've got our emails all in there. So go ahead and reach out directly to Kenny, reach out directly to Mary for any further questions, and they'll answer more for you.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Have a good
too.
night.
All right, Sarah. Go ahead, Sarah. And then we'll do Dwayne and then Manair. Sorry. I'm butchering these names. Go ahead.
Hi. I'll go first.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Okay, thank you. So I just have a couple quick questions that I jotted down. So, like, I've been doing production for about 12 to 13 years now, and I go a lot in between Atlanta and Savannah. And I actually just drove back from Savannah last night so I can start prepping for that Kevin Hart movie next week. Like, I'm trying to figure out with sponsorship, like I know a lot of people that like say funded my friend's movie that just did like the Lake Lanier movie that was on Amazon, like more indie films. So a flyer will be sent out and I can try to get more funding for this. Like that's okay to do.
Yeah. So we do have some flyers now. Before I reached out to everybody, I kind of started throwing them together. So I for sure can make some better ones than the ones we have. I'll
be going out to Gary tomorrow, handing those flyers out to people, like to produce and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the goal. My goal is that we raise enough that this thing becomes really, really big. We already have a channel that we can put it on with major distribution, and they have the opportunity and the availability to be able to pitch it to Amazon Prime and all these other ones. But it for sure will go on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Android, Roku. I have another channel that's interested in hearing this pitch as well on Roku and Apple TV. So we do have multiple channels now that are interested, as well as people that I can push it to. Our label consultant and manager, he can push it to people at Netflix and things like that. It just depends on how big we can get it, who's on it, things like that. But once we do, if you do like the flyer, we can for sure use that. If we're all like, you know what, we need to get it, upgraded, I can upgrade it. Or if somebody's even better than me at doing flyers, I don't mind that as well. I've only done video and things like that for about a year. So I am still very new to all these programs except for music. So don't mind my video editing and my
I don't do
photo
all
editing
that.
stuff.
I'm like behind the scenes, hands-on stuff, so I don't even know how to do any of that. So yours
Well,
is
there
all
are there's several people that have reached out to work in like art department and graphic design and stuff like that. And we've got some people that I know Kenny has talked to as well. So Kenny, if at any point you feel like you need to delegate that to somebody, you know, we are kind of building the, you know, the tree here for everybody to get into
Yeah,
their
I
spots
just
so we
kind
don't
of
get
did it because
overwhelmed.
until we had somebody that was
Yeah,
on and willing to do it, I've just been
right.
kind of doing it all myself until I got you and then now Suzanne, and that's like it's really starting to grow.
It
So I'm
is. It
like,
is. So yeah, make sure everybody you let us know for sure what you want to do, and if that's part of your expertise, let us know because we're going to be making decisions in the next week or two.
All right, are we good, Sarah? You're complete?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like the whole scheduling thing because like August will be great. Besides for the whole makeup issue now, because that's something I would never even think of. But if it's like in October, because everything's like booking up, like I start that show next week. Camera test starts on Tuesday, and I'm on that show till June.
Yeah, it's the busy season.
And then like Wild and Out, like I've done like the last 9 seasons, and they're one of my contracts for my company. And
okay, I know a few of the cast from Wild and Out, so
yeah, I've done
that's
like the
really
last
funny that
9
you said that.
seasons here in Atlanta. My trailers are all there.
Okay, I went to school. I know Justina.
Yeah, Justina's a sweetheart. She took my little
Yeah, and I know
last season.
Santoine too. So
Sweetheart.
that's really funny that you said that. That's really funny.
Yeah. Well, no, because one of the UPMs for Rashawn, he's out of New York, and so he would try to like push that through and everything. I had a Zoom meeting with him earlier this morning because they pushed it. It was supposed to be here in June, and now it's because of Nick Cannon's lawyer. So it's gonna be like October.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like October. So like I would hate for them to be like, come July, be like, oh well, we're gonna be there in October, and then me supposed to be there in October. You know, like things
Yeah.
shuffled around, like nobody knows exact dates.
Kenny, I think we can probably have a call with Suzanne sometime very, very soon to definitely break down those days so that people can know, because it's not just, you know, the actors, the crew too, especially people.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be able to need to, because I know even in the industry being in it, you always try to at least plan out like the next year or two, just so you have an idea of
like
auditions
this
and all that.
you know, so
yeah, production can be like a year out. So
Yeah.
you just and if you're grabbing people who are really working in the industry, yeah, you need to book them out way ahead of
Yeah,
time.
as I said,
Okay.
I'm not opposed to pushing this thing back if we have to,
Mm-hmm.
especially if we get the right people that can build the right budget to make it as big as possible. Like I said, I would love to do a theater red carpet release here, you know, so I want it to be the best as possible. So
Yeah.
if we have to push it back a few months or whatever it is, like I just want it to be the best as possible. And the most we can push it and market it, then it'll for sure do way better than rushing this thing, trying to get it out.
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's move along because we have still 3 more people who are waiting and patiently. All right,
Okay.
Dwayne, go ahead. Go ahead, Dwayne, unmute. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, sorry I'm late, so I don't know if I missed anything about like the role information. Will really be like emailed that
Yes,
stuff? Or?
yes. Once he determines, once the script is completely written and we reviewed it and we've decided what are the best steps to go forward, put out the descriptions on the characters and looking for casting, then yeah. So just make sure that, Mary, do we have a running list of individuals that have said that they've been interested in auditioning?
Yes, I have, I think, somewhere between 3 and 5 actors, but Kenny's got the majority of the actors, and I've got the majority of the actual film production crew, because where he's the, you know, director, he's working, you know, people have just reached out more to him on that aspect, and it's kind of grown organically that way. But we can respond, either one of us, to whoever. But I do believe for actors, he's got the majority of that.
Yeah, yeah,
So then,
I've got
Kenny,
about.
we need to discuss this down the road, that maybe it may behoove you to put together an actors access audition. But we can discuss that.
Yeah, I have a list and everything with everybody that sent the resume, headshots, etc. I just haven't put it together with Mary's. I was waiting till after today to do that, but I have 98 or 99% of the actors list and the audition.
Okay, great. So Dwayne, Rachel just said in the chat as well, anybody that's on here that is an actor or actress to go ahead and just, I see your hand up. Yeah, I see. Go ahead and just send your information over to Kenneth directly and he will get you on a list. And that will be also an email list that I will use when I put out any email blasts so that I'm in touch with, and Janelle as well. So anybody that's listening, please just connect directly to Kenny and send him your information. Dwayne, did you have something else you wanted to say before we move to the next person?
This email the same as the one that was sent out when he.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. You have all of our addresses, all of our emails. Okay. Excellent. Okay. You're going to have to tell me if I pronounce your name wrong. Maneri? Maneri. I was close.
Yeah. It's fine. I get it all the time. First of all, good evening. I know I'm a little bit late, but it's finally nice to meet all of you. Yeah, all that. He actually asked a question I was going to ask, but I actually had another one. Just because I'm interested, I don't know if you can share right now. You did say the script was kind of like in early development, but like, what's the story about?
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit about it. So basically, it's suburban. The synopsis or whatever you want to call it is suburban neighbors are kind of they're stuck right now in the midst of a zombie outbreak. There's like a chemical explosion that's on a train, and right now they're kind of just like, oh my gosh, like they're zombies, but it's new school where you're like, oh, I know they're zombies, but like, how do these zombies die? And you know, like it's not like, oh my god, what is this kind of zombie? So, I want it to be, you know, more of like a 40 days of like, I think it's 40 days of nights or something like that. Where like,
30 days of nights, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like not like vampire zombies, but they're like crazy runners, and you're like, the hashtag that I really would like to bring forth is one bite and it's good night, which is kind of the thing, you know, like you're scared and you're running. They're not like the slow Walking Dead zombies, but yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. You know, it's a chemical explosion, and they're kind of like neighbors that are like, oh my god, there's actually zombies in our neighborhood. Like, we got to get out of here.
But there's that one character though that's like, like everyone knows how to take care of zombies. We've got enough zombie movies. Like come on, we got to get together. And it's you know, back in the day you didn't have that. Everybody's like, you know, but now it's like we finally gotten to the point. Okay, everybody knows about it. It's just, yeah, I love that part. But
yeah, I tried to mix it up a little bit. So you were like, oh, that's old school, but like, oh wow, that's new school. That's really cool. So
All right. I look forward to auditioning for it. It does sound interesting. It does look interesting. I also am an artist too. I mean, I just draw. That's another career I want to venture into. So if you I don't know, maybe if you need, I don't know, maybe coming up with concept designs, because that's something I also like to do. If that's a thing, I can do that.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Actually, I'm not sure if you had came on yet or not. He's handling a lot of like the artistic. Kenny is a lot of like the more artistic, creative stuff, where I'm kind of more on the logistics side, and we're trying to like, you know, put some things, you know, I'm connecting his pieces together basically. He's making these beautiful babies, and I'm just trying to put them where they need to go. So we are working on like actually creating the departments, like whether it's art department, you know, who's catering, you know, who's doing casting director, who's over hair and makeup, things like that over the next couple weeks. So if you are interested, I've just let everyone know, please let us know as soon as possible for sure what department or, you know, it's easier to have someone that you just have the one, you know, job, so that there's not a lot of mix up and confusion on that. But if someone needs an extra hand, knowing that someone has that experience is definitely appreciated. We love the well-roundedness and just letting, you know, everybody learn new things and stuff. So just let us know for sure, and we can relay that back to you.
All righty. Yeah, that's it for me. That's all I wanted to know.
Great, thank you so much. Dee Dee, go ahead with your question.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
I think my daughter, she was listening in, so I don't know if I kind of came in last, but I believe y'all answered the question just a few seconds ago about the audition. I just want to make sure I'm on the right page with that. Y'all will be sending out things, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to
I want
be
to be
as transparent as possible, which is why I've been posting so much a little bit earlier than I should have, because as my first time being a film director and maker, there's a lot of things that I'm learning, but I would like everything to be wide open for everybody so everybody knows what's going on. Everybody that, as we get going in this thing and as a part of the team and the crew and the cast can just share as much as they can to get as much exposure. But um, we're going to try to email everything that needs to go out as soon as possible and just be as open and as transparent as possible.
Okay. And I do know she's been in well, she actually recently at the end of her theater career with John Casablanca, and she's very interested in it. So plus she does gymnastics too. I don't mind traveling. I just want to tell you that I don't mind.
Oh, mama to mama, I would love to see a kid just cartwheeling and bouncing away from zombies and going like, because that would be cute. And we do have a director of choreography that's going to be coming on that can, help with movement and stuff like that. And
I do
think
have a gym that will let us use mats as well. As I've been a gymnast and coached cheer all my life, so I have mats and paddings, 8 inches, 4 inches. I've done it all. So we basically have or can get everything we need. It just really depends on if we can build the crowdfunding and build the people to make this happen.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Well,
So I see Dwayne, Dee Dee, and Lashley and Jacoby, but they all still have your hands up. Those are the only ones. And everybody, are you done? Did you have another question? You do.
In the 8th one, like there's all rules and speaking rules. I was wondering, does that count for the zombies as well, since you're like going off a more modern zombie movie? You know how you're updating the zombie.
I think
like,
anybody who's going to be given a script will have an NDA. So
Yeah.
whether or not he
Yeah.
gives scripts to zombies, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the zombies have scripts. That's going to be up to him. But anybody who gets handed a script will have an NDA. Yeah.
I'm definitely not opposed to it. We'll kind of we'll let it kind of sit for a little bit and see how things turn out. But I'm not opposed to it.
All right. So we are at 10:09. We're an hour in. This is not going to be our. Did you have another question? Is it Jacoby or Jacoby or Robinson? Did you have another question?
It's Jacoby. Yes.
Sorry, I assumed it was, but I've been butchering everybody else's names. I figured
That's okay. I'm pretty used to that. I guess this question is for KS. Are you accepting music submissions too, or are you kind of using your own music for this?
So I kind of, when it started, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll do it. And I had another composer that is under the agency that needs some credits that's going to help out. I definitely would love to use as many people as possible. Like I said, I mean, if somebody wants to do a little here and there and just get a credit, the more people, the better. The better we can make it, the better. So, I mean, I would love to have some composers, or if anybody that even does Foley. I mean, I was going to try and do it, but if we have to outsource and things like that as well, I'm not opposed to whatever. But right now it's just trying to take whoever's interested, and as well as your experience and what you can do. I mean, even if you're somebody new and you do music and you have something that can help benefit what we're doing, I'll for sure would love to use you to give you the credits and get you in there.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to help, we would really, really appreciate it, because quite frankly, like Kenny says, this has gotten really big really quick. And the more it grows, the more there will be need of delegation and assistance. So we've just, we've all been, me and him and Suzanne have been throwing in and, doing everything up. Kenny took it, and then he just, we're eventually going to need help. with all of this.
I
So
thought
we'll
there was
keep.
going to be probably 6 or 7 or 8 people in this thing, and now there's like 30, 40 people just in
I
the
think there's like
Zoom, and people
almost
that
over
couldn't
100.
make it. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of rolling with it.
All right. Ron, you want to go ahead and ask your question? And I think that's the last question for tonight so that we can make sure everybody gets a good night's sleep. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I'm retired. I all the time.
We can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, my name is Karan. I am applying for the script supervisor. I believe Mary answered it, but I just want to make sure that when will be the final script will be out for me to break it down, and it just helps with the timeline.
Penny, that's your answer, honey.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, after I guess I've never written a script, so like once it's done, like does it need to get like revised in different drafts, or are you just talking about like the initial first script?
I would say the one that's about to go on the floor. So it helps like for me as a script supervisor to like break it down and address it.
He'll need the final one. He's not going to want your rough draft or your first draft.
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to want final draft.
I guess I mean I can finish the script tomorrow, but I guess when Suzanne and Mary and Alexa and everybody that we have for sure on staff, I guess we'll read it and see if it needs revisions or what we need to do to get those revisions.
Yeah.
I mean, we can for sure let you know. I would say before Valentine's Day, with for that, we will at least have that done, whether it needs revisions or not. But like I said, I'm new to this, so I didn't know even what you meant by that question. So for me, in my head, I'm like, I see it and it's done, but they're going to be like, you need to fix a couple things. So yeah.
Well, and it'll probably be revised, and once you get with a script supervisor, I think that's once we have the script, and he said earlier, Kenny did, that he's very, very close to being done with what he's got. So at that point, we'll probably be actually knowing for sure, who we need to contact about what, who's definitely going to be on. And then at that point, we can say, hey, this is where we're at. Would that work for you to do that if we go about it that direction? Because I am not a script supervisor, so we're kind of looking at script supervisors, letting what is the best method of doing that.
Yeah. So usually if you, let's say, going on floor in fall, I would say at least 3 to 4 months early if we can lock it, so that way it helps with
Oh yeah, we for sure will have that, because
right,
we're
so
having to push time out a little bit. Yeah, we'll get that to you in plenty of time.
perfect, sounds good. Yeah.
All right, great. So we have answered all questions for this video, for this one at least. So, but the recording's going to get sent out. So just last thoughts, Mary, did you want to add anything, and then we'll close it out with Kenny?
No, you guys hopefully have my email already. If you don't, it's marybrookhollysymons.com at gmail.com, and I can put that in the chat here. If you need to contact me for any reason, I am available by phone and text. And I'm just, happy to help out and be a part of this.
Excellent. Kenny, do you want to add anything out as well?
Yeah, so I really want to thank everybody that came into the Zoom today. I know a bunch of people couldn't make it, and I know it was last minute, and I apologize for that. We just kind of threw it together last minute to say, hey, like, I think we should try and see who's really interested in this thing or who can make it. So I do appreciate all of your time and everybody's patience for me to kind of jumping the gun on it. And as I said, I just want to make this the best I can. So, we understand with the project that obviously, everybody wants to get paid. Not everybody can work with a deferred payment, or not everybody can do a non-paid, or this, that, the other. We for sure want to make sure that as we are growing, to get these sponsors, that your travel and at least your lodging and your food and all those things are for sure taken care of first and foremost. And I'm hoping to be able to grow this beyond everybody's expectations. It has grown beyond mine. You know, like, as I said, I thought it was going to be 7 or 8 people and me filming this thing with a couple lights, and now we've have so much experience and talented people that are showing up on both ends of crew and production, as well as cast and auditions. So thank you guys so much. And as we grow this thing, I will be as transparent as possible. And Mary and Suzanne and everybody with our staff, as you join, we want to make everything as easy and as transparent as possible, so that you guys that would like to join and can join know everything right up front, and try to make this thing, hopefully something that will for sure be beyond what everybody can dream of and expects and hopes.
So if anybody needs emails, if you have not, if you did not get the email blast that went out last night, just make sure that you get to whoever's email you have, whether it's Kenny's or Mary's. I'm sure you probably don't have mine. I did put the emails in the chat. I'll keep this open for a couple of minutes so that you can kind of scroll back in and grab emails. That way we can add you to the next blast. And every time that we have a meeting, Kenny and Mary, and then we get Alexa and anybody else that gets on board, and we have meetings, anything that is essential that we need to share with you will go into a blast and be sent out to you. We will not spam you. We will not share your email with anybody. It is just for the project alone. And we won't be sending out way too many, because I won't open them if I get them. If anybody has anything else they want to add or say, I'm going to go ahead and close this out.
Actually, I was going to ask, when is the next meeting actually, and when, like, what days are we going to meeting up Zoom wise?
We don't have a designated time at this point. Right now, he wanted to just bring everybody together, let everybody know what's going on, touch base with. Basically, I look at this as like we are a bunch of embers, and we don't yet know what the fire is going to look like. So we're kind of stoking, warming up the embers a little bit, and then as things progress, we'll send it out to you. I would like to, at the minimum, send something out once a week.
Yeah, she's going to be sending out a news blast each week to you guys. I'll be copying, just basically, taking notes of our meetings just to keep you up to date. The big thing right now is just to follow the social media. That way, and just check your email, because that way you will be contacted by us when we have the information. And just to let everyone know, if you had, there was, I got 2 text messages today. Due to the large amount of people that have come in, there have been, the confusion between who do I email, or this email was lost, whatever. We have all 3 emails in the chat box over here, mine, Kenny's, and Suzanne's. So you have all 3 available to you. So please, feel free, if you don't hear from one of us, feel free to contact the other. I'm primarily doing the production crew and he's doing the acting, but we can both help you.
On my end, if I'm not sleeping, I will probably respond to you within an hour. And then once you are on crew, or once everything is going and you've signed, something for this project, and you're part of the project, we do have not only a Discord which anybody can join, but we do have a text message group which goes out for anything that's up and coming. But on my end, I mean, I'm on social media and text all day, so I will respond to you as fast as possible.
And same, and if I'm late, I apologize because I'm dealing with the newborn. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so that being said, thank you everybody for sticking out, 10:20, and next meeting will be, we'll probably be tightening it up a little bit so we can discuss things specifically. Your emails will address that as well. You may end up having departmental calls as opposed to group calls, which will also help as well. We'll call in, specifics on that way. Not everybody has to plug in, and we can just answer specific questions per department. So that being said, I am going to go ahead and close it out for tonight. And I thank Kenny for your vision and for inviting us all on this journey, for Mary for being an amazing executive producer, and for all of you for participating tonight and bringing your wisdom and yes, and take care, everybody. And I'm going to be disconnecting. So sleep well.
It was nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night,
Have a good night, everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.